meet you. I'm Robert. How are you?
Michelle. Nice to meet you.
You want to take the first one?
Yeah, I'll take the first one. Where are you from?
Miami, Florida. How about you?
So my family lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, but I've lived in 6 different states and 13 different homes throughout my life. So I don't
Oh my God.
Yeah, whenever people ask me like where I'm from, I kind of feel...
Where else have you lived?
So, I was born and lived in New Jersey for 6 years. Then I moved to Ohio for a year. Tennessee for 3 years after that. Then back to a different part of Jersey for 3 years. Then after that, Arkansas. That's where I graduated high school. I lived there for 3 years. Then lived in Wisconsin for 2 years. I actually transferred from Wisconsin to here last year.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So that kind of leads into the second question.
Yeah, so you're a transfer student?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I am too.
You are too?
Yeah.
Wait, where'd you transfer from?
From Miami-Dade College in Miami, Florida.
Cool.
Yeah,
wow.
so after high school I did 2 years there, and then the whole point of the program was to like develop students to then bring them out into like better universities. So applying out of high school, I was like not really sure what I wanted to do, and I didn't really want to leave home because I like lived my whole life at home, and then realized that I guess I wanted to do this program because they were paying like for the students that did it, and I really wanted to go somewhere else after like I like kind of figured things out for myself. So then through that program I applied to UNC and got in. I guess I could take the next one. What's your distinct happy childhood memory?
Okay, so I don't have a specific memory, but I'll say that like I remember fondly from my childhood, like me and my sister loved riding our bikes. So we'd always go around our neighborhood and like just find different adventures. We always did really weird, eccentric stuff, but like really just found a lot of joy in one another. So I think that would be mine. What about yours?
Actually, so a lot of my family's from Venezuela.
Okay.
So now with like all the political unrest and stuff, I can't really go, but we used to make it a habit like every summer, like all the cousins would get together and like I'd see my grandparents and everything, so we would fly to Venezuela every summer and we would stay at my grandma's house, and then like we would have like these huge like family parties and everybody would come through, and me and my cousins would always hike this one mountain in Caracas, and we would do it like every summer that we would go. And there was one specific day that we were outside of my grandma's house and we had picked like a bunch of bamboo and like sharpened them into like knives and stuff, and then we're just like playing around like we were like little Indians in the forest and stuff. So it's probably one of my happiest memories, because now it's like much harder for all the cousins to see each other and see my grandparents and stuff. What's next?
Next question. What's a distinct happy recent memory?
So I studied abroad last semester, and
Where?
Milan, Italy, in Bocconi University, and one of like the biggest things that I realized was like I was having a lot of fun, but I always had like this little urge, like I always missed home, and like coming and like I'm in love with UNC. It's like my favorite place to be at ever, and coming back and like seeing my girlfriend again and all my family and like just like all my friends that I consider family was like the best thing to me. And then I remember I went to He's Not like the first week that I was here, and I got to see everybody that I knew, and it was just like probably like the best moment ever. How about you?
So I went to Nigeria this past winter break, which is like where my mom and dad are from, my origins. And so most of my time in Nigeria I was in the village, and I don't know if it's the same in Venezuela, but like no electricity, no hot water, like. So there was one day my parents were like, okay, we're gonna go to the city. So me and my cousins all went to the city, and we ended up going out to a club. Like it was like 20 cousins on my mom's side. All our aunts and uncles went to this club, and there was literal stripping and like
sounds like my type of party.
It was like wild, and all of us were looking over at our parents, like, and all of our parents were laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a Nigerian celebrity that we had been listening to the whole trip in the village that ended up performing at the venue.
Oh my God.
And so we just like, after he finished performing, we like stampeded him, like asking him for pictures, and like, yeah, not like stampeded, but like,
no.
He was so happy. He was like, oh my God, I dance. But yeah, I'd probably consider that. Like, we were all super happy, and yeah.
That's
really
awesome.
Memory.
Let me see. So, wow. Changing topics. What's the biggest challenge you faced?
So, I think in the past year, I've become like more aware of it, but I think with moving a lot, I think I kind of realized like the weight of that a little bit. And so kind of like mediating my identity like within like an ever-changing space and like not really like feeling grounded necessarily in anything. I've definitely still been working on it, but I think that getting closer to my cultural ties has like helped me start to like find a place where I feel like I belong. What about you?
Mine's kind of the same thing. I was gonna say something else, but I think this one is probably more prevalent. So growing up, like it was very difficult for me to like form relationships with people, which is very weird because like nowadays it's so different. It's much easier for me. And I like grew up in a very like tight knit household. Like my parents showed me like the most love they could have. Like I believe that I have the best parents in the world, and everything they've given me, like they gave me everything I ever wanted. And to like leave that household every day, go to school and stuff, and never be able to like make those types of relationships with people, and always wonder like if it's me or if like what's going on. Like I always felt like I didn't belong. And I don't know if it's because I was raised in such a tight-knit household where I was like, maybe I was always taught to like treat others awesomely, like just always be humble. And then when you go to school and people are kind of like, you know, like you're in high school and people are like rough with you and you're trying to find yourself and all that stuff. So I would think like the biggest challenge for me was like trying to find my place. Growing up, I always felt like I was an outsider, but then coming to UNC, it's like mediated a lot because like I came here and then I started like meeting a lot of like like-minded people, a lot of people that I saw like similarities in like I have. So definitely it's been amazing since being at UNC because I feel like I finally found a place where like I've met people that care about me and like genuinely understand me and you know are very similar to me. So
who is the biggest role model in your life?
Definitely my dad. I actually was asked this in an interview like maybe a month ago. And I always say my dad because he moved from Venezuela at the age of 17. His whole family stayed back and he was the only one that moved to the United States. And he moved to New Jersey actually.
Where in Jersey?
I don't know exactly where. Like we don't really talk much about that, but I do know that when he moved, he didn't speak any English, went to an all English high school, like nobody spoke Spanish. And he actually ended up finding a girl that he started dating.
Yeah.
And like her family took him in and stuff, and like he lived with them, and like his first job ever was like picking horse poop like in their farm or whatever, and now he's a CFO in a company in Miami. So everything that I have today is like due to his like perseverance and like how hard he's worked like throughout his whole life, and like he never ever does anything for himself, which is like astonishing to me. Like everything he gets is like straight to the family, straight to my mom, and straight to my brother. So I just like to see how humble he is all the time, and every time we're like, Dad, you're the best dad ever, and he's like, no, I have the best sons. It's like so cute because like he really has worked so hard and he struggled a lot, and everything that we have is because of him, and he just like never recognizes it. He's always like, oh, you guys make me a better person. Like it's never like I've done so much for you, you know? So just like how hardworking he is, how loving he is, like I think he has the biggest heart out of anyone I know, and it's definitely, I guess, he's definitely the role model in my life. How about you? So
I also want to say my parents. I'm going to put them together instead of saying just one person, but it's very similar. My parents are both Nigerian immigrants, and I think that their hard work and perseverance like really inspires me. And then also I always think about the fact that like someone who's a foreigner, they're coming from a different country. It's not like moving states. Completely different culture, not having family ties there, and like somehow making it in the United States, and also still remaining humble and like good people. So yeah, I think that they're my biggest role models. Do you know
what do you want to be remembered for?
Be a little cheesy, but just like love and being a good person, and also just kind of accepting people for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what about you?
So I guess the main thing I want to be remembered for has to do with people. So like I told you that I had a rough like upbringing when it came to like people, and now that I feel like I've become very social and stuff, whenever my friends speak about me, I think the first thing they say is I have the biggest heart, and I want to be remembered as like the person that they can always come to for anything, and to be like the happiest person in the room. That's like my main thing I want to be remembered for.
And then, last question, what's the most interesting thing you've learned about the other person?
Honestly, I feel like that we're very similar. And like, I had never met you before, and I feel like you and I have like, we come from very different backgrounds, but still are so similar. And I feel like you're extremely intelligent. Like, you speak so eloquently, and you're going to medical school and all that stuff, so I'm just like, man, you came from like a great family. You definitely have your head in the right place, and I feel like you're going to go places because you're very driven too.
Thank you, and I feel the same.
Oh, thank you.
You in this interaction, I literally was like, wow. I think that, honestly, one of the things that I've learned from moving is that even though, like, no matter the culture, no matter the place, like, you can always find someone that you can relate to, and there's always, like, a way that you can connect to people, find like common places that you like. I've talked to people and I'm like, oh wait, I've lived there before.
Yeah.
Like, you're from there, like Tennessee, where I never expected to run into them like at places like UNC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is just a testament to that you can always like find commonalities between people.
Yeah.
It's the contact hypothesis.
Definitely happy I met you.
Yeah. I'm happy I met you too.
So yeah. I guess now we can hug it out.
Yeah.
So we don't have to give each other a high five or anything.
I'm excited.
I know.
New friend.
Now I have a new friend. Oh, yeah.